Did you ever wonder what would happen if Muzan sent a different upper moon to the Mugen train? How would the battle play out? And most importantly, would Rengoku survive? Well, today we'll be explaining Rengoku's encounter with each upper moon, starting with the upper moon 6, Kaigaku. If Kaigaku was the one who arrived instead of Akaza, things would have gone much differently. Now, although Kaigaku is undeniably much weaker than Akaza, he is not to be underestimated, as he was a user of total concentration breathing and mastered a breathing style before becoming a demon. The battle between him and Rengoku would be mostly balanced in the beginning, with the two fighters fiercely exchanging blows. Kaigaku is an exceptional user of thunder breathing, and when that mastery is combined with his blood demon art, electrokinesis, it would be really hard for the Flame Hashira to keep up with his speed. Although Kaigaku is a talented swordsman and a strong foe, the one place he greatly lacks is experience. He is a very young demon moon and never had a serious battle against a Hashira before, so he wouldn't expect Rengoku's resilience and would probably underestimate him. After some time during their battle, Rengoku would prepare his strongest attack, Esoteric Art 9th Form Rengoku. At that point, Kaigaku would be shocked and wouldn't know how to react. Rengoku would swiftly dash towards him and cut off his head before the upper moon could even realize what had happened. Okay, that one was pretty straightforward, but there are still 5 more battles to cover, and let's continue with the former holders of Upper Moon 6 title, Gyutaro and Daki. If we want to understand how this battle would play out, we need to look back at the Entertainment District and just how hard it was for the Slayers to defeat them. Both Gyutaro and Daki possess powers and skills that allow them to defeat 13 Hashiras in total during their lifetime. Gyutaro, the stronger between the two, has managed to single-handedly overwhelm the Sound Hashira Tenjin and powerful demon slayers like Inosuke, Tanjiro, and Zenitsu. However, it's not his poison or strength that make him a difficult foe to deal with, but the fact that in order to take him down, Rengoku would have to cut off the heads of both siblings simultaneously, as both demons are practically one single body. Decapitating both demons at the same time is a pretty much impossible feat for a single demon slayer, and Rengoku would certainly need some help here. Sadly for him, Tanjiro wouldn't be able to do much as he was already badly injured from the fight before, and Zenitsu was still asleep because of Enmu's blood demon art. The battle would start with Rengoku swiftly cutting off Daki's head, but as soon as he would do that, Gyutaro would emerge from her body. The demons would then take this opportunity to catch Rengoku off guard and land a few hits on him. Gyutaro would rush towards the unconscious passengers in order to devour them, forcing Rengoku to defend them. This would mean that Inosuke would have to take on Daki by himself, as he would be the only one capable of fighting at that time. Now, although Daki is technically the upper moon, her strength is not really on the required level, so it's likely that Inosuke would be able to stall her, at least for a brief period. Seeing his friends fight to the death, Tanjiro would join the battle and help Inosuke at least a bit in fending off Daki. Okay, this is the part where I wanted to put some funny subscribe joke to make you guys subscribe, but I couldn't really think of anything, so here's this cool pixel art of Tanjiro holding a subscribe button. So, you could subscribe, or not. Anyway, it's a bit hard to guess what exactly would happen here, but since Rengoku managed to stall Akaza until sunrise, I think he'd be able to do the same in this scenario against Gyutaro. And the best thing is, he would survive the night. Even if Gyutaro manages to poison Rengoku as he did with Tenjin, Nezuko can simply heal him once the fight is over. So far, Rengoku has managed to survive in both of these scenarios, but from now on, it'll start to get much harder, as his next battle is against Upper Moon 5 Gyoko. The upper rank 5 demon Gyoko doesn't seem too strong at first, but is a very tricky one to defeat. Gyoko has unique blood demon art, which allows him to create porcelain vases. Using these vases, Gyoko could easily dodge Rengoku's attacks, teleporting himself to a different location each time the Hashira tries to strike him. During the course of the battle, Gyoko would probably summon his fish monsters, which spit poisonous needles. However, Rengoku shouldn't have a problem dodging these, given his impressive reflexes and speed. As the fight continues, although Rengoku would hold his ground pretty well against the demon, without the Demon Slayer mark, it'd be nearly impossible for him to land the final blow. The best option for him at this point would be to try and stall the demon for as long as he can, but knowing Gyoko's wicked personality and how short-tempered he is, he'd most likely start attacking the passengers in order to mess with Rengoku. Seeing that the passengers are in danger, Rengoku would immediately rush to save them, giving Gyoko an opening to use his special ability called the Water Prison Pot to trap the Hashira, similar to how he did with Moichiro. The ability is the perfect prison for breathing technique users as it suffocates them, stopping them from using their abilities. It would be impossible for Rengoku to get out on his own, leaving Tanjiro and the others to protect everyone. Inosuke would be furious and would immediately attack Gyoko on his own. Knowing that Inosuke won't be able to survive for long, Tanjiro would rush towards Rengoku in order to help him. With his quick thinking, Tanjiro realizes that breathing into the bubble would supply Rengoku with enough air, allowing him to perform flame breathing and escape. However, while this is happening, Inosuke would most likely die fighting, as he he is nowhere near Gyoko's level of strength. From here on, Rengoku would manage to stall Gyoko for a bit longer until sunrise, forcing the demon to retreat. This means that both Rengoku and Tanjiro would be badly injured but alive, and the only casualty would, unfortunately, be Inosuke. Okay, that encounter didn't really go that well for the Demon Slayers, but what about if Rengoku encountered Hantengu? Would this scenario be any better? The upper rank 4 demon Hantengu is a frail, weak-looking demon and a huge coward. However, once he unleashes his clones, he becomes unimaginably powerful. The good news for the Slayers is that Hantengu isn't impatient and arrogant like Gyoko, and doesn't immediately go all out in a battle. Instead, using his blood demon art, Hantengu multiplies every time he's decapitated, meaning he starts his battles weak and then gradually gets stronger. Since this battle occurs near dawn, this is perfect for Slayers, as they could just stall weaker clones until the sun rises. The real threat, however, is Hantengu's final form, Zohakuten, which would wreak havoc, and stopping him would be near impossible. Thankfully, from what we've seen during the Swordsmith Village arc, Hantengu will not transform unless his life is threatened, which would only happen if the Slayers get close to his real body. And that would never happen in this scenario, as the Slayers would be too busy protecting the passengers from the demon's attacks. Therefore, Rengoku and the others would probably survive till sunrise. However, if, for any reason, Hantengu does transform, he'd be able to effortlessly kill Rengoku and everyone else. The Flame Hashira never awakened his Demon Slayer mark, so there is no way he'd stand any chance against this monster. Before we explain what would happen if Rengoku encountered the strongest upper moon, Kokushibo, let's first cover what would happen if he encountered the upper moon 2, Doma. Doma is by far the most laid-back demon in the series. The power gap between him and Akaza is evident, and if he was sent to the Mujin train, the battle wouldn't last very long. However, due to Doma's playful nature, he wouldn't take the Flame Hashira seriously at the beginning and would toy with him. On the other hand, Rengoku would realize that his enemy is way too dangerous, and same as in the original, he would stop Tanjiro and Inosuke from interfering. As time passes, Doma would injure Rengoku more and more, and he'd be forced into constant defensive, well aware that his attacks would do no damage to the demon. As the Flame Hashira, Rengoku's main goal here isn't to win, but to stall Doma and save as many people as possible, even if it costs him his life. However, despite his best efforts, Doma is quite smart and would quickly realize what Rengoku is up to. This would make the demon mad, and he'd instantly become serious, angrily striking Rengoku through the heart, killing him on the spot. Seeing Rengoku dead, Tanjiro and Inosuke would be enraged and rush in to take revenge, but they would obviously stand no chance against serious Doma and would die instantly. The demon would then proceed to devour all the passengers, including Zenitsu, and then slowly disappear into the forest. And finally, it's time for Rengoku to encounter the Upper Moon 1, Kokushibo. Second only to the Demon King, Kokushibo is undoubtedly the strongest demon moon in the series, and over the course of 500 years, he has honed his skills to their utmost limits and has slaughtered countless Hashiras. Due to him being a demon slayer before transformation, he is also a master of breathing styles and even has his demon slayer mark awakened. If he was the one to encounter Rengoku during the Mujin train, things wouldn't go very well for the Hashira. At first, Kokushibo would effortlessly dodge Rengoku's attacks, admiring his swordsmanship and breathing techniques. Seeing Rengoku's determination and strength, Kokushibo would probably ask him to become a demon, same as Akaza did. However, Rengoku would refuse, leading to Kokushibo swiftly eliminating him in the blink of an eye. Seeing Rengoku dead on the ground, Tanjiro would be shocked and probably try to attack Kokushibo using sun breathing. This technique would trigger deep forgotten memories in Kokushibo, and he'd remember his younger brother Yorishi. Seeing the image of the brother he hated in Tanjiro, Kokushibo would become furious and mercilessly kill Tanjiro without saying a word. After that, using his moon breathing, he'll kill everyone in the area before retreating back into the shadows. It's pretty obvious that the Slayers stood no chance against Kokushibo here, but did you ever wonder if all demon moons together can defeat this guy? Click here to find out.